Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Well, my guest tonight says it all with the title of her book, Single, Celibate, and Fine as Wine. Closed legs do get fed. You are about to meet DeNesha Rachelle. She is an amazing, dynamic woman who's serving as a tremendous role model for all of us with her courage and beautiful message in her book. So let me just share a little bit more about her. She is a best-selling author, a TV host, executive producer, and director of her talk show, which airs on the DeNesha Rachelle Network on Roku. She's also a veteran of the U.S. Army National Guard. She has an MBA, and her business is called Fashioned for Dominion. One of her slogan is designed to rule, and she is ruling her empire as exemplified by our message here on Boss Up Goddess, because she is bossing up in a very powerful way. Welcome, DeNesha.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Elizabeth.
You're welcome. I'm absolutely honored. I love the message in your book because when we talk about boss up goddess and be the empowered woman in mind, body, and spirit that we're all designed to be, you are doing that. And by protecting the temple that is your body and waiting for that sacred union with that special person instead of squandering the energy, however fun that might be.
Yeah.
Um, can you talk about what inspired you to write this, please?
Absolutely. So, when I was around 31 and I talk about it in the book, I really had this moment. And so in preparing to speak with you, the word identity just kept coming up over and over and over again. And I realized in that moment what actually happened when I get down to the root of what brought me to want to take the vow to say, I'm going to remain celibate until I get married, was the true fact that I really knew who I was in that moment. I accepted my identity. And the thing about identity is when you know who you are, you kind of change your standards to adjust where you see yourself. You don't accept yourself. You don't allow yourself to be limited. You don't allow yourself to succumb to the pressures of society, the words that come to you from other people that may not be where you are. They just don't penetrate your inner being anymore. You finally come into the realization that, wait, hold on now. I'm a queen. I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent. I'm wise. I'm courageous. And I don't have to settle for less anymore.
Wow.
And until I come into the realization of who I am, then why would anyone want to actually take that leap of faith with me and accept me in that way?
Absolutely.
And so it's going back to what you said. You have to boss up. You have to know who you are. And in that moment when I was 31, I knew who I was and I accepted who I was. And I said to myself, if I'm royalty, there's a certain standard that comes along with it.
Yes.
If I'm treasured, there's a certain way that I'm supposed to speak, that I'm supposed to act, that I'm supposed to walk. I'm not supposed to accept any old type thing. And so I don't need to be in England or anything like that to be in a royal lineage per se. I know that I am royalty.
Yes,
absolutely. And so when you know what you are, you start acting in accordance to that identity. And so that's just what happened to me. When I get down to the root of it, we can talk about relationships or mistakes or anything like that, but that's not the thing that led me to saying that I'm going to wait until I get married. When I get down to the root of it, what actually happened in that moment was I truly came into agreement with who I am. And when I came into agreement with who I am and I walked in it, I realized that this DeNesha deserves the absolute best. but I
Mm.
had to accept that for myself.
I really would love for you to please share with women who are watching how to get to that point, because we live in a world that is constantly giving us messages that we're supposed to be having sex. We're supposed to have a man no matter what. We're
Mhm.
supposed to dress a certain way and be provocative and look a certain way and be seductive and look on all social media and all the ways the women are posing and dressing. So there's tremendous pressure for women, and especially young women, to play into that and think that they have to be uh, consumed in order
Mhm.
to be accepted. So, how did you find
Mhm.
that power within yourself?
Oh my goodness, that is so good. Consumed in order to be accepted. Oh my goodness. So I will speak. Okay, so there's two sides to this. For one side, of course, if you read my book, you know that I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So my faith played a huge role in me coming to this decision. So in my response to my relationship with Jesus, I started identifying myself as this kingdom woman, right? But if you are someone that's not a believer in Jesus Christ, it's not to say that you can't have this same revelation and walk as well. Because what it does is, whether you're a believer or not, it's just identifying yourself and looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I am worth every good thing that I could possibly obtain. Whether
Yes.
anyone else around me has ever seen it, whether anyone else around me has never, some of us have never seen great marriages or relationships, but you have to come into the realization that if stuff is not working for everybody else, maybe I need to try something differently.
Mm.
Maybe there's something that could happen if I take the leap of faith and try it differently. And what women have to do in order to not be consumed is that they have to realize that they are an asset.
Mm.
You have to realize that you have all of these wonderful gifts that you have to offer the world. And the more you protect your value, the more you will start seeing yourself as being rare, being treasured, being a jewel. And
Mhm.
just like diamonds are a girl's best friend, just like you will spend money on that, and instead of just going to some little, chinky little jewelry place, Forever 21, and buying any old thing, you treasure that diamond because you work for it. You understand that this is valuable. Well, if you can see it for a piece of jewelry, why can't you see it for yourself? And so that's
Mm.
the ultimate goal for any woman. I don't care if you're a believer or not. It's ultimately seeing yourself as rare, seeing
Mhm.
yourself as valuable, seeing yourself as a gift to people and to this world. And when you
Mm.
start seeing yourself in that way, you will protect yourself in that way, and you won't allow anyone to limit you or reduce you to just, sex, or just, oh, she's just a woman that's going to be on my arm to make me look good. Oh, she's a beautiful girl. She looks like she needs to be with, an athlete or something like that. Absolutely not. It's understanding who you are and then recognizing yourself as a gift. And when you package yourself up, then you won't allow anybody to just rip it off. No, they got to take time. How the older people, when they unwrap their gifts at Christmas, and they just take the time. Oh, I don't even want to tear the paper up. It's so beautiful.
Right.
It's like that.
Uh-huh.
No,
I
you
love
just
it.
can't rip this off. You got to take your time.
Yes, I love that so much. That's beautiful. So listen,
Yeah.
I want to just clarify that you totally keep it real in this book.
Yes, I
You
do.
talk about loneliness, you talk
Mm-hmm.
about how our bodies have certain cravings. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about how we want that and we have to hold out and be patient and have
Yes.
delayed gratification. And
Mm-hmm.
so, can you talk about how it's not an easy path, but the rewards are immeasurably wonderful?
Yes, listen, I talk about it in the book because I tell people I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if I did not warn you about the rainy nights and the cold days, because they're going to happen. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like I tell people all the time, if you've had a chocolate chip cookie and you love that chocolate chip cookie, and all of a sudden you're going to stop eating chocolate chip cookies, don't think you're going to have amnesia and forget how great that chocolate chip cookie tastes, you know?
I love your analogy. That's beautiful.
It's just the truth. You just have to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so in those instances where you are having those moments of loneliness, when you are trying to just drink some champagne or anything, I just want to get through the night. When you have those moments like that, you know, and you're vulnerable, and you are trying your best not to dial that one phone number that you refuse to delete out of your memory. You know, you have to have these moments of reflection, and then you have to have someone real like myself telling you, listen, I've been there, I know how it is, but if you could just go to sleep, if you could just wake up, if you could just know that you're going to get through this night, you're going to get through this moment, because what Tyrone will provide is not what you're looking for, you know. And Tyrone is not coming over there to hug you and hold your hand, you know. And so that's what women have to understand. Those vulnerable moments will come, and those moments where you want to reach back, they may come, but at the same time, you have to be fully persuaded in your decision and stick by it. Just know that the women such as myself or any other woman that has taken this journey and this walk, they've been in that same predicament. And we're not going through saying every day is just peaches and cream. No, we're telling you that these moments will come. But if you persevere and push through it, then you'll be greater on the other side, and you'll be glad that you did not step back into your past.
Absolutely. So, DeNesha, the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is a classic success book, he talks about the power of what he calls sex transmutation. And I've been practicing that for years once I finally figured out what it was. And what it is sex is the act of creation for human life. When you channel that energy as opposed to squandering it with pleasure, which is awesome. It's beautiful. But when you channel that energy, you harness that energy and you create something and let that energy go up to your brain. This is what he says, and this is what I've done to get in my genius writing zone. It is incredible. You have to experience it to believe it. But you, as an entrepreneur and all the things that you do, you must know that that energy goes somewhere. And when it goes to your brain, into your creativity, it is genius. It is magic. Do you agree?
I talk about, I believe it's in a chapter where I talk about what do I do in the meantime, in between time I'm lonely.
Yes.
You know, in that chapter, what women have to do is they have to learn the power of self-development. You've got to be just so engulfed in yourself that you love yourself and you want to be the best wife, mother, woman, friend that you can possibly be. The only people that are sitting around twiddling their thumbs day in, day out, crying out, where are all the good men, are the ones that are not maximizing their potential. And so in those moments, in those seasons where you are single, you have to look at it as a gift. You have to look at it as, listen, I don't have all of these responsibilities. I have this time and this opportunity to go back to college, to advance myself in my degree, to focus on entrepreneurship, to really build and grow my business, to get that exercise and nutrition plan, to work on my body. Because what I always say is, what you bring to the table, what you want, you should be able to bring to the table as well.
Yes.
You know, so whatever you want to attract, you should be a reflection of that. And this is the time that you can be able to do that. Another thing, another point to what you just said is I always tell guys, I'm like, listen, there's a reason why boxers don't have sex before they have a big fight. There's a strength that you build up on the inside when you don't have sex, when you abstain, because it requires a lot of self-control. So when you have this self-control, it builds your strength up in that particular area. And so it's not going to be wasted, but they know that because they have to focus. And so this can be a time of focus. This can be a time of self-development. And when you are not distracted by unfruitful relationships, you really have the opportunity to maximize your potential and be the boss woman or man that you were created to be. Because I would rather meet the man as a boss as opposed to meeting a man just thinking that I'm a boss. I would rather already be that so that I could attract that.
Oh, I love that. And that is what happens. You attract on the level where you are.
Yes.
So, what you just said about unfruitful relationships, you said one of the biggest lies women tell themselves is, I got a man. Can you talk about what that means, please?
Oh, my goodness. And you're laughing because you know you heard it before. You know, women, I love them. I love them. And we've all been there. You know, sometimes we may, like I say in the book, like Wendy Williams will say, you know, we have these fictitious characters in our head that we say, okay, this is somebody, and we put a title on it. But in all actuality, ladies, we cannot allow our emotions to get the best of us to where we are calling a relationship, and it's really not. Because guys are simple. If you are his woman or his girlfriend, he is going to profess it and let the whole world know. People are going to know that you are his main woman, you know. And so the women that, you know, I like to shout it from the rooftops, I got a man, that, you know, if they have single friends and they want to portray as though their relationship or whatever situation they're in is really a real relationship and it's not, then that's what I'm talking about. It's really taking an introspective look at yourself and saying, wait, hold on. Am I really his main squeeze? You know, have I met any of his family members? Do they know me in that way? You know, has he invited me to any of his corporate functions? You know, has he ever suggested in a way that we're moving forward in his relationship? And has he established a title in regards to who I am to him, you know? And so some women, they'll get it mixed up and they'll think, hey, you know, you have sex every now and again, they call you or whatever. And it's not really establishing who you are. You really, it makes a difference when you have a title. And a man will do that to a woman who he wants to provide, protect, and profess to. And that's why I said, like, at the end of it, I just need you to confess that you really never had a man, and now we can move forward.
Wonderful. I love that. So let's talk about this, because I'm sure there's somebody out there saying, well, that's a double standard. Why do I have to, as you say, closed legs do get fed? Why do I have to keep my knees closed when I know Tyrone is out there doing whatever he wants? And then when it's time for him to get married or get serious, it doesn't matter. So can you talk about, is this a double standard?
It's not a double standard because, like I said, you have to understand who you are and what your identity is. So your closed legs getting fed is based off of you understanding who you are. So if you believe that you are this queen, if you believe that you are rare, that you are treasured, that you're a jewel, then you have already established the fact that these are my standards, these are my boundaries, and anyone that is not respectful of that is not, he's not even qualified to breathe the air that I breathe, right? And so if Tyrone wants to go out and just sleep with whoever he wants to, it's because he doesn't value the seed that's within him. So why in the world would he, you know, would I be concerned about his seed if he doesn't even deem it as being precious? So no, absolutely not. I should be with someone who understands that, listen, when we come together, there's a possibility that we are creating life. And so if you feel as though your ability to create is that invaluable, then we're not even needing to be together in the first place. So you understand? So if you just want to give it away all over the place, then that's you. Tyrone, I'm done. We can delete the number. I understand, because clearly you don't identify yourself as a king. Because if you did, then you would be attracted to this virtuous woman that's right in front of you. Because whatever you're looking for, I got it and even more. But because you have the mind of a peasant, I can't even waste any more time. And so it's not a double standard. It's just a question of, who are you?
Wow, that is so powerful. I love that. I love that. And you know what, DeNesha, you're really striking a chord, because on YouTube, I was astounded to discover so many videos by young women and men who are taking this stance and saying, I've been played like March Madness enough times, and I'm ready. I'm ready to hold out and do me until I meet somebody to have a sacred union with, sacred in actions, sacred behind closed doors when I'm not looking, sacred because they want it to be, because they see it as a spiritual union of two people, 2 souls. So, can you talk about how the pandemic has added a whole nother layer to this conversation?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I feel as though being in confinement, you really, people, if they've been in a relationship, I'm sure it has tested their relationships. It has really shown what the true colors of their relationship really is, because and even stepping outside of that, because listen, you can be attracted to somebody, and I tell people all the time, yeah, it's a lot of people that love one another, even in marriages, but the question is, do you like one another? Do you want to be around one another? Do I want to see you? Do I want you to touch me? Any of those things. And so I feel like people have really had to get down to the meat and potatoes and like, okay, I don't know about this. Like, I'm starting to see things that I didn't see before, because now I'm around you even more. And I feel like that has played a really big role in this pandemic, and people understanding, like, maybe I need to do things differently. Maybe I need to go back to the drawing board, even if it's abstaining from sex for a certain period of time. They're actually seeing that this is not fruitful, it's not working for me. And then other relationships or friendships have even broken off from it, because you can only mask it for so long. You can only, the sex might be great and all of those things, but in the words of my mama, Becky Daniels, what you gonna do when you get up out the bed? That's exactly what my mama said. And that's the truth. That is the truth. What is beyond that? So that's what people have to understand. That's why you can't go into it all hot and heavy. You have to lead with your heart. I said that in the book. Lead with your heart and not with your heat, because the heat will always cool off, but the heart really tells what you have in front of you, if this is long standing, what type of relationship we have. And I believe that the pandemic has really shown a lot of telltale signs from people. And then a lot of people are understanding, I need to do things differently. And so they are interested in having this celibacy conversation now.
So speaking of that, I love how you have these lines in the book where you ask questions, and I'm trying to find some questions where, look, I highlighted the whole Tyrone section in yellow. That's so hilarious. No offense to Tyrone, we love you. Yeah. So you have like these spaces where people can write answers. So it's about diving deep within yourself while you're reading the book. And I love also that you have prayers in here because you're deeply spiritual. And I think this can be relevant to anybody who's not spiritual as well. It's just
Mhm.
protecting your own sacredness. So, what is your message to young women out there who say, well, I just want to have a good time and I'm not trying to get married or have a serious, I just want to have a good time and have fun. I love sex. And what's wrong with that?
Well, okay. So for the younger crowd, now I will say this, and I tell people this all the time in regards to young women: be young. I'm not telling you to go out and have sex. I'm not telling you to go out and be promiscuous. What I am telling you to do is have a balanced life. I don't
Mm.
want to see you just straight, all the way. Oh, I'm going to college. I'm going to work. I'm going to do this. And you never ever have a social life. You never ever, have that balance to where you travel and enjoy life. I want you to enjoy life. I want you to have fun. I want you to be young. I don't want you to be 55 and just going crazy and bananas because you never experienced anything.
Right.
So I want you to have a great time. But what I also want to do is challenge. I would like to challenge the young people to think about things differently, because there are consequences to everything that we do in life, and they're going to either be positive or negative. And
Mm-hmm.
we know that with sex and with relationships, there can come times where, you may lose your self-esteem, your confidence. You have to understand that young men are not looking to be married at that point in time. So, as a young woman, you have to understand that this is just for the moment concerning a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Because typically we don't understand our purpose and get all of that stuff in our 20s. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can't just assume as a young woman that this is going to last forever. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would just really let them know, hey, these are the things that could happen. Now you're going to make the choice regardless of what I tell you. But I want you to go into it with your eyes wide open, understanding that these are the things that could happen. And we haven't even talked about, any kind of infections or diseases or anything like that, because I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about the emotional component of it all.
Yes.
So it's not to suggest that, I would love for everyone. Of course, I would teach my children to abstain from sex until their marriage. I would teach, once I'm blessed with them and they get here, of course I would love that. But then I would also like to provide an open forum so that they will feel comfortable talking to me, and to just know that, even if you have had sex before, that there's still love available to you, that
Mm-hmm.
there's still mercy available to you, that
Mm.
there's still guidance available to you, that you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to feel dirty or ugly
Mm.
or less than, or when that boyfriend breaks up with you and you feel like your whole world is over, I'll still wrap my arms around you and tell you that you're beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and so in knowing that, then I feel as though that whole stigma of that's only for the good people goes away. Because guess what?
Mm.
There are no perfect good people
No.
ever. you know,
Nobody's perfect. No, nobody's
Nobody's
perfect.
perfect. We've
Mm-hmm.
all been there. But if I just, if I can show you a more excellent way, and if I
Mm.
can open my arms and my heart up to you enough to where even if you do stumble and fall, you know that I can pick you up again and still love you and dust you off, then I feel like young people would be more willing to embrace celibacy and
Mm-hmm.
abstaining from sex. It's just
Mm-hmm.
having a person that's going to be real, understanding, and then show them, not just tell them, but show them a more excellent way and say, you know
Mm.
what, I would if somebody would show me. If you were celibate, how you gonna teach me to be celibate if you're not doing it? But since
Oh.
I have been on the other side of that, then I'm a relevant source that could speak
Mm-hmm.
to that type of commitment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, DeNesha, one really fun thing when I'm reading the book, you're kind of teasing the reader, like, I'm not going to tell you if I actually got a man as a result of this strategy. So, did you?
goodness. Let me tell you guys. So I know I tease you all at the end of the book, and I will tell you this. There is a very, 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 very special man in my life.
Yay.
Honey, I love it. Man, yes, I do have a very special man in my life. And it's so amazing because the way that I met him is how I'm really describing things in the book. But
beautiful.
Elizabeth, the way it happened, I wrote the book way ahead of it actually happening.
Oh.
So when I went back and I was reading the chapters as I was getting ready to publish, I realized that these were the actual steps that led me to him.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But there's more to come. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging too much longer, but
okay.
I will say that part of me publishing the book and finalizing everything was because before I could publish it, I prayed. And I said, Lord, I need a happy ending.
Wow.
I said, I have got to have a happy ending. I need an expected end for these people because you are so good. You are so loving. And I just want them to know that you are who you are. Like you see us right where we are, and that there are great men that are willing to wait, that are celibate. And my mom always told me, DeNesha, what you're looking for is looking for you. And
beautiful.
So for every lady out there, and you're wondering if there's a man that will wait, if there's a man that values you, if there's a man that will be celibate, if there's a man that wants to know everything about you, that's willing to go through the journey with you with a smile, I'm going to tell you, yes, there is.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. That was so beautifully said. Thank you. Wow. So let's conclude, DeNesha, by you please telling me, what does it mean to boss up goddess?
Oh, to boss up goddess. First of all, I love it.
Thank you.
Love it. I'm telling you, ladies, to be a boss up goddess means you take everything you got and you maximize it. You take it and you make it so grand and so big, and you tell yourself each and every day that you are a big deal. You never settle for mediocrity. You never allow people to diminish your value. But a boss up goddess is a woman that says, listen, I have XYZ, and what I got, I am going to work it. I'm going to bring this thing to fruition. I'm not going to sit on my talents. I'm not going to sit on my gifts. I have a purpose, and I am going to let the world know that I am here. You will not die without knowing your purpose or revealing it to others, but you will maximize it. And when you reach that ceiling, you'll go to the next level, and you'll go to the next level, and you won't stop, because you will continually be evolving into this wonderful, beautiful woman that you were always created to be. So that's what a boss up goddess is.
That was beautiful. Well, you are exactly that. So I am so grateful, DeNesha, for you to come and share your wisdom and inspiration. Where can people buy your book?
So they can purchase the book on Amazon or any online retailer, wherever books are sold. They can purchase it on my website at DeNeshaRachelle.com. But I know most people purchase from Amazon, so you can purchase an ebook or paperback copy from Amazon at any time.
Beautiful. I'll put the links in the description box so anybody who's watching, and we have lots of people watching and adding wonderful conversations in the chat. So know that lots of people are here cheering us on with this amazing conversation. So DeNesha, you're going to have to come back and share the result of your mission and your, the evolution of your show, and maybe you will write more books in your company. And so I'm really grateful that you joined me here today. So thank you so very much for gracing us with your presence and your brilliance.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been awesome. I could talk to you all night. You are so amazing. Thank you for this wonderful platform. And you just keep on bossing up, Miss Elizabeth Ann Atkins.
Thank you, DeNesha. I feel like I met a new spirit sister.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We will definitely connect again.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you again. And thank you, all of you, for joining us here tonight on Boss Up Goddess, where you got to meet the dynamic DeNesha Rachelle talking about her book, Single, Celibate, and Fine as Wine. Closed legs do get fed. She is just such an inspiration. I hope you've learned something today. I hope there's things she said that you can walk away and apply to your life. And remember that self-development piece is like the diamond at the center of all this sparkle tonight. So thank you for joining us. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, share this show with anybody who needs to boss up and be the goddess that they're designed to be in mind, body, and spirit, doing positive, powerful things in the world. So remember, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins.